QB, higher, lower, Hail Mary. Let's dive in. You got your big 8. I'm looking at the rankings here, and if you have one of the big 8, you can kind of rest easy, breathe deep. In big 8, I mean Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. Next tier, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Tua. Dak has jumped into that tier, and Justin Herbert. And we look at Dak, man, back-to-back top 3 quarterback performances, QB1, QB3, 25 and 29 points. They're starting to let him air it out, and I'm happy to see it. It's definitely brought a quality quarterback back into the fray. But after that, from quarterback 9 on, it is just a complete and utter crap fest. So if you do not have one of those 9, I'm hoping to help you sift through that. And Derek Carr is the one I am higher on, +2 ECR for Derek Carr here at quarterback 9. He's got 300-plus passing yards in 3 straight games. In fact, the Saints are number 1 in passing over their last 3 games, averaging 328.7 passing yards in that span. He hasn't had any huge blow-ups, Derek Carr, in that span, 17, 18, and 18. A nice floor. You can't discount that right now. And last week could have been that blow-up game had he just barely, Chris Olave, really the one at fault here, dropped a long TD bomb, which probably would have propelled both of them into just top 12 numbers easily. And Derek Carr himself would have had 20-plus points for sure for the first time. He also got vultured by Taysom Hill twice last week, so a little bit of more touchdown luck for him. It could go a long way here. So Chicago also ranking 5th most in points allowed to the quarterback position, 4th most in scheduled passing points allowed. That's all Derek Carr does. I really, really like Derek Carr as my higher quarterback after, again, that bottom 9. Drew, do you want me to rip the next couple while you kind of regain your bearings?
I know exactly what's up. I could see Carr hitting Kamara many times. Lower, CJ Stroud against Tampa Bay. You got him at QB 11. That's 2 below the experts. Also, Jordan Love. I really agree on this one. Jordan Love, you have at 16. The experts have him at 13. Make your case.
Yeah, middling matchup for Stroud. In fact, it's towards the top half league, 11th most points allowed to quarterbacks against the Bucs this week. But they, have faced some strong quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins only 16, Fields 14, Hurts 19. I mean, 19 is a pretty good day, but for Jalen Hurts, that's a bad effort. They did get bombed by Josh Allen and Jared Goff over their last 3 games, but schedule adjusted, they're middle of the pack right now as a matchup, and Stroud himself has been very, very mediocre. He smashed those first 4 games, and since then, 14, 15, and 13 fantasy points. Very, very underwhelming. He's been under 200 yards in 2 of his past 3 games. 2 straight, really. Just a very mundane quarterback right now. I do believe him in Stroud. I think he's certainly going to turn this around at some point. But right now, I want him on my bench if I can possibly have it. But again, it's such an ugly week that he's still my quarterback 11. He's still a starter in my rankings. I'm just that much lower. A little bit lower. I'd rather have Derek Carr, for example. And then Jordan Love, quarterback 16. He's just been flat out bad. He has the best protection right now in the NFL, minus 8.5% pressure rate, according to fantasy points data. But when not pressured, only Kenny Pickett has a lower completion rate. He has 7 interceptions. That's the most Jordan Love in the NFL. His 6.28 yards per attempt while protected. 3rd lowest. His 61% completion percentage while protected. The 2nd lowest. He just is not getting it done, even with a clean pocket. And that's just usually the sign of a bad quarterback. He's been okay fantasy-wise. He got 16 points back-to-back, but he's just been so bad real-life-wise. And the Rams, I know they just got bombed last week, but other than that, last week, they've been a pretty stout defense against quarterbacks. I don't like Jordan Love. I don't want him in my lineups. I'd rather, again, have Derek Carr or find another streamer.
Agree. We do have a super chat, but we're going to finish up the Hail Mary first, and then we'll hit that, I promise. Hail Mary, we talked about Gardner Minshew earlier, actually, extensively in one of the questions. He's only 23% owned. He's at Carolina. And also, as a kind of asterisk to this, also the Wolf is suggesting, see if Baker Mayfield is still out there. He's only 41% owned, and 3 of his last 4 games have actually been pretty darn good.
Yeah, so Gardner Minshew we talked about, but let's rehash the fact that he's facing a Carolina defense that's allowed the most touchdowns total in the league. So many of them are rushing because they're such a bad rush defense. And yeah, with 2 good running backs in terms of Jonathan Taylor and the 3rd leading rusher in the NFL right now, Zach Moss. Still can't believe those words coming out of my mouth. But you just never know when the variance will strike, when it might turn into a Minshew rushing touchdown, where they'll get into the red zone and Minshew might just pop one real quick to Josh Downs instead of running it in. It could happen any given week. So given that's a soft defense overall, despite being far more soft against the run, you could just see that variance shifting for 1 week. And they do have the 7th highest implied team total of the slate. It's just a really bad even. And we mentioned, too, that the Colts are just overall 136.6 combined snaps per game and 54.3 points scored per game totals. So we're getting a lot of plays run and a lot of shootouts. The 136 snaps, that's highest in the NFL. And those points, 54.3, are second behind only Miami in terms of combined totals. So lots of plays, lots of shootouts in these Colts games. And then Baker Mayfield, quarterback 7, quarterback 11, quarterback 10 in 3 of his last 4 games. Had 1 dud mixed in there. But that's really solid. And Houston is allowing the second best completion percentage for quarterbacks, and schedule adjusted points, the 12th best matchup as well for quarterbacks too. So Baker, a lot of people dropping him out there. He's got some really quality weeks. He's got great weapons to throw to. Definitely could be a streamer that you need.
What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.